Alright, I'm going to be doing a YouTube deck profile for my Noble Knight deck. If you see anything that you suggest I change in the deck, just let me know. And here we go. Monster lineup first. 2 Rescue Rabbit. You play 6 vanillas in the deck, and I'll get into those. We got 3 Sabersaurs. This deck runs a lot of protection, so why not be able to make Logia with good back row and in turn. 1 Ignoble Knight. He's not really that great. The only reason you run him in the deck is because with the Madrot plays that I might show you later, you can go into rank 5s, and this is the only card that helps the deck go into rank 5, so you need to at least run 1. You've got 3 Noble Knight Madrot. One of the, well, typically the best Noble Knight in the deck. He lets you basically special summon any Noble Knight from the deck and face up defense position if you equip him with one of the Noble Arms equipped spells. And you usually use him to get your Ignoble Knight if you want to go into rank 5s. And we have the other vanillas, the Noble Knight Artorigus, 1800 meter vanilla, just plain and simple. 3 Noble Knight Gwaine. He's pretty good. He helps you get out some Shockmaster and other particular XYZ plays. The good thing about the Noble Knights is that they're all warrior type, so it helps you go into a wide variety of different XYZs and warrior specific XYZs as well. So that's the, I guess, the plus side of using all warriors in this deck, besides the 3 dinosaurs. Now we go into spells. We've got 1 Reinforcement of the Army, search out my Madrot when I need it, 1 Pot of Avarice. This deck, it uses up a lot of monsters to XYZ at a lot of times, so usually once those monsters fade from the field, you'll have a lot of monster stockpile in the graveyard, and Avarice is really good to get some of those back. 2 Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance is just pretty good, so why not run it? And Forbidden Lance helps you safely summon your rabbit and make sure that you can get those special summon monsters onto the field. 2 MST, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy, 1 Reborn, 2 Noble Arms Caliburn. This is one of the main Noble Arms cards you use. It gives you 500 attack to any warrior type you equip to, and every turn during your standby phase you can gain, well, not only during your standby phase, but every one of your turns you can gain 500 life points. So that's pretty good as well. And with Madrot can actually use this card twice by using his effect. 2 Noble Arms are for duty. I'm not sure how to really pronounce it, but that's just what I say. This card is pretty good. It has its downside, but it's also pretty good because it can destroy set monsters as well. What it does is you equip it to any warrior type. So if your opponent has a warrior type, sometimes you would equip it to their warrior, in most cases if possible. And what you do is you select a set card on the field and you can destroy it. And if you do destroy the card, the equipped monster loses 500 attack. So you can sometimes use it to lower your opponent's attack and destroy one of their cards at the same time. So it's something pretty cool that I tried doing before. You only play 1 Noble Arms Gallatin. Gallatin raises your Noble Arms attack by 1,000, and every one of your standby phases you lose 200 attack. So that is the bad part. If this card stays equipped to your monster for a very long time, then it starts to hurt you instead of help you. Onto the traps. Triple Phoenix Chain. 2-dimensional prison, 2 bottomless trap hole, 1 compulse, 1 mirror force. We have the Solemn Brigade, 1 and 1, and 1 Starlight Robe, because you run a lot of back row, so sometimes you just want to set the Starlight Road and feel safe that they can't heavy storm you or dark hole you, and you have a great field set up. Now we go to the extra deck. 1 Gandiva, Warrior Specific XYZ. It's pretty good in certain matchups against certain decks. I use it against Sams if I go first. Sometimes I'll summon Gandiva, and depending on what the Sams have in their hand, it could slow them down from making a first turn Shein or spamming the field, because Gandiva can destroy 1 to special summon level 4 or lower monsters. So it's pretty good in some decks if you go first turn Gandiva and end turn with protection. Heroic Challenger Excalibur helps you just get over big monsters. 1 Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor's, he's decent. He can attack twice. He's 2200. So most times I prefer him over Excalibur in certain situations. May Stroke, just one of the best ring 4s there is right now, so why not run him? Volcasaurus, he's amazing in this deck and every other deck that can run rank 5, so Volcasaurus is definitely, I almost want to run 2 of them, but I don't have that much room. Starleech Paladinimo, he's another amazing card. He came out in the same 10 as the Volcasaurus. What he does for me is sometimes if I suspect a Gorz or Dragon hand, I'll attack direct with 2 of my Noble Knights and overlay them to make Starleech, and then I'll use Starleech's effect to negate the Gorz or the Trag's effect and make its attack 0 permanently. So that way you don't get the retaliation of the Gorz or Trag on the next turn. So that's one of my tech ideas of the way I use Starleech. And of course, just another way is if they just have a problematic monster, you can just get over it really easily with Starleech. So Starleech is really good. I want to run 2 of him also. Gaia Thunder Charger, because when you use Volcasaurus' effect, he can't attack directly, so sometimes you may want to overlay with Gaia Dragon to get the damage indirectly. Noble Knight Autorius. This is the Noble Knight's Exceed monster, basically. What he does is, for instance, say if my Noble Arm spells are in the grave at the time I summon him. They don't have to be in the grave, but just to show you how his effect would work. If all 3 of the Noble Arm spells were in the grave at the time I summon him, I summon the King Artorigus, and all 3 Noble Arm spells come from the grave, and they equip to him. And all their effects are applied to him, of course, so he would be 3500 attack upon summoning, and also he could still use the effect of the R for Duty, or his personal effect is if you detach, you can destroy as many spell and traps on the field based on how many Noble Arms cards he has equipped to him. So that lets you destroy up to 3 spell and traps on the field per turn. And if you're a 3500 beater, it's going to be pretty hard to get over him. And the cool thing that I didn't mention about the Noble Arm spells earlier was that if you destroy any of the Noble Arm spells while they're equipped to Artorius or any of the other Noble Knights, they automatically can re-equip to a Noble Knight once per turn. So Heavy Storm wouldn't stop this play on your opponent's turn if they Heavy Stormed you. So that's what's really good about using Artorius. Sometimes he can actually stun your opponent, and I think that a lot of people haven't been using them as much yet, but I think he's actually pretty good with all 3 spells equipped. You have a Volzar Doka because you play the dinosaurs. Got Cowboy, Gaga Cowboy wins games with the burn damage effect. Everyone knows that. Abyss Dweller for water matchups or any other matchups where you just don't want graveyard effects to activate. Rai-Oh, this is just a personal choice because I really like Rai-Oh, because there's been a few games where I've gone in the first turn Rai-Oh with some back row, and this allows the opponent not to set anything, and if they can't summon anything higher, then they can only set a monster. So sometimes I would actually set another card on my turn just to destroy it. Maybe like a Noble Arm spell. I'll just set a Noble Arm spell just to destroy the Noble Arm spell and their set monster and attack directly. So I like Rai-Oh. Stardust Dragon because I run the Starlight Road. Terrace, Keeper of Genesis. I think Terrace is okay. I use it sometimes because of I want to make a safe summoning and I don't want to get bottomless, and I'm just trying to bait out their back row, so sometimes I'll use Terrace. We have Logia because I run the Dinosaurs. And you got Shockmaster because the deck can really make Shockmaster easily using the Noble Knight Gwen. For the side deck, you got one Mirror Force, one Breakthrough Skill in case I play like another Dino Rabbit type of matchup, negate Logia's effect. One Night Beam. This is mainly for like decks that still play like Threatening Roar, or maybe for Mermails when they can activate their Abyss traps. So I side this in to help against those stop the activation of those traps. One MST, 2 Mind Crush.